Greetings to all viewers of Freedom TV channel. Thank you for joining us to watch and analyze the events happening in Ukraine and around the world. This is our time and the top news at this hour. I'm Yuri Kulinik in the studio. Russia launched nearly 80 drones at Ukraine last night. More than 40 of them were Shahids, according to the Air Force. Ukrainian air defenders neutralized 54 drones of various types in the north, south, and east of the country. Strikes were recorded at 6 locations. The number of people killed as a result of the Russian strike on Chernihiv region has risen to 2. Another employee of Chernihiv Oblnergo died in the hospital. Doctors are still providing assistance to 3 people, according to local authorities. Let me remind you that the previous evening, Russian drones struck the vehicles of energy workers in one of the villages in the Novorod-Siversky district. Rescuers arrived at the scene of the shelling, and while they were dealing with the aftermath, they came under a second strike. A fire truck was damaged. There were no casualties among the personnel. One person was injured as a result of the Russian attack on Odessa last night. The Russians used drones on a massive scale across the city. Fires broke out at energy infrastructure facilities. A hotel and restaurant complex building also caught fire. 3 residential houses were also damaged. Part of the city and the Odessa district were left without electricity as a result of the Russian strike. According to the Odessa Regional Administration, energy workers are doing everything possible to fully restore the power supply. Critical infrastructure facilities were quickly connected to generators. Lviv in the Kharkiv region also came under Russian drone attack last night. A local resident was injured. This was reported by Mayor Helena Minieva. A private business and 3 houses were damaged. By morning, rescuers had extinguished the fires at the impact site. Right now, energy workers are on site to assess the extent of the damage and restore electricity to the homes of Lviv residents as soon as possible. Last night, the Russians also struck the village of Velikiy Berlik in the Kupiansk district with drones. Hits were recorded there as well. We have already restored power to many Ukrainian homes after yesterday's massive Russian strike on the energy sector, according to the Ministry of Energy. Power supply has been restored in Kiev, while repair work continues in the Dnipropetrovsk, Kiev, Sumy, Donetsk, and Kharkiv regions. The situation remains difficult in Odesa and Chernihiv, where Russian forces once again attacked critical infrastructure last night. After Russia's strikes on Ukraine's energy sector, Kiev's partners must tighten restrictions against the aggressor. This was stated by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Hiri Taikya. He emphasized that there can be no delay in adopting the 19th package of sanctions.
These strikes should prompt our partners to take action, particularly the 19th package of sanctions. There can be no further delay in making a decision on the 19th package of sanctions. Measures against the energy sector, against the banking sector, against Russia's shadow fleet, adding ship captains and ports to the sanctions lists, restricting Russia's access to war financing through the energy sector. Additional sanctions against Russian diplomats, of course, restrictions, individual sanctions against propagandists and those who help Russia circumvent sanctions and find money for its crimes.
The German Airline Association has called on authorities to shoot down drones over airports. This was reported by Der Spiegel. The organization emphasizes that the problem has existed for 10 years. But it still hasn't been resolved. Previously, for example, police in Bavaria were not given the authority to shoot down drones, even if they deemed it necessary. The unions believe that this practice should be implemented in all federal states. And let me remind you that at the beginning of the month, unidentified drones were spotted in the sky over Munich. Because of this, the local airport suspended operations for several hours. Dozens of flights were redirected or cancelled. Similar incidents have recently occurred in other European countries as well, Denmark, Sweden, and beyond. The United States will impose a 10% tariff on Chinese goods on top of existing duties. This was announced by U.S. President Donald Trump. He sharply criticized it. He condemned Beijing's intention to impose export restrictions on almost all products made in China, calling China's actions a moral disgrace.
China has taken an extremely aggressive stance on trade issues, sending a highly hostile letter to the entire world in which it declared that starting November 1, 2025, it will implement large-scale export controls on almost all goods it produces. This applies to all countries without exception and is clearly a plan that was developed several years ago. It's hard to believe that China could take such measures, but it has done so. Donald Trump, President of the United States, on the social network Truth Social.
North Korea marked the 80th anniversary of the ruling party. The local dictator, Kim Jong-un, held a large military parade for the occasion, where he showcased a new intercontinental ballistic missile. But among those who came to witness the event were Chinese Premier Li Chang, the head of the Communist Party of Vietnam to Lam, as well as the so-called former president of the Russian Federation, Dmitry Medvedev. As for the new North Korean missile, Reuters notes that it could reach the United States. However, its accuracy is highly questionable. On the eve of the parade, Kim Jong-un held talks with that same Medvedev. Moscow and Pyongyang once again agreed to strengthen cooperation in the military sphere.
Subscribe to The Gaze and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.